Your heart is beating right now, and the gap between each beat, down to the millisecond, is one of the most powerful predictors of how long you will live that science has ever measured. But most people are measuring it completely wrong. The number your wearable shows you every morning, it might not mean what you think it means. And the interpretation you've been using, it could be pointing you in entirely the wrong direction. In 1994, researchers at the Framingham Heart Study followed 2,501 people for 4 years. They measured a single autonomic nervous system variable at baseline. The people in the bottom quarter of that measurement, compared to those in the top quarter, had a 47% higher risk of dying from any cause during the follow-up period, after adjusting for blood pressure, cholesterol, smoking, and diabetes. The variable was heart rate variability. Now here's the personal translation. If you're in your 30s and your HRV is tracking in the bottom quartile for your age group, and most people are, without knowing it, that gap represents the difference between a biological age that matches your calendar age and one that is running 8 to 12 years ahead of it. Not as a metaphor, as a measurable physiological reality. In this episode, we'll look at 3 things. First, the 30-second morning window that is the only time HRV data is scientifically valid, and why measuring any other time is just noise. Second, a free intervention that outperformed a $200 a month supplement protocol in a clinical trial. And third, the specific wearable problem that may mean your numbers have been meaningless this whole time. That last one is the counterintuitive one. Stay for it. What actually is HRV? Your heart has its own internal pacemaker, the sinoatrial node. But your heart does not beat with the mechanical regularity of a metronome. It beats with slight rhythmic variation. The gap between beat 1 and beat 2 might be 820 milliseconds. The gap between beat 2 and beat 3 might be 847 milliseconds. That 27 millisecond difference, that is heart rate variability. Here is the takeaway sentence. HRV is the scorecard for your autonomic nervous system's ability to respond to and recover from stress. Higher variability means your nervous system can shift fluidly between sympathetic activation and parasympathetic recovery. Lower variability means it is locked into a chronic stress state, unable to shift gears. The metric we use to measure this is called RMSSD, root mean square of successive differences. The number you actually want to track. So how does it predict aging? The Framingham data established a 47% mortality differential. But here is the mechanism that explains it. Chronic low HRV is not just a symptom of poor cardiovascular health, it is an accelerant of it. The autonomic nervous system regulates inflammatory response, immune function, cortisol production, and vascular tone. When HRV falls, those systems drift toward chronic dysregulation. You age faster across multiple organ systems simultaneously. Here is where it gets counterintuitive. A high resting heart rate is bad for longevity. But what the Framingham data showed is that a low variability heart rate, even at a normal resting rate of 65 beats per minute, is the more dangerous signal. Your heart rate number matters less than the variability within it. The common misunderstanding. Here is what almost no one tells you. There are multiple ways to calculate HRV. The research-validated metric, RMSSD, is calculated from a 60-second to 5-minute recording of consecutive RR intervals from a medical-grade chest ECG or a validated chest strap. Your Apple Watch reports a different metric. Your Fitbit reports a different metric still. A 2017 comparison study showed that optical wrist sensors diverge meaningfully from ECG gold standard RMSSD values, particularly when your nervous system is in the exact high-stress state you most need accurate measurements. If you're using a wrist-based optical sensor and comparing your number to RMSSD normative values, you are comparing apples to oranges. Here are 3 ways you can test and track your HRV. Free. Mid-cost. Then research grade. Method 1 is free. Download HRV for Training or a similar HRV tracking app, available on iOS and Android. Each morning before you get out of bed, before you check your phone, before you speak, open the app, place your index finger over your phone's rear camera, and record for 60 seconds. The app calculates RMSSD from the photoplethysmography signal and, critically, corrects for the known optical sensor error margins using a validated algorithm. This is the critical 30-second window I promised earlier, except it's 60 seconds, and it is the only window that produces scientifically valid data. After 7 days, HRV for Training gives you a rolling trend. Track the trend, not the number. Method 2, if you can spend a little money, is the Polar H10 chest strap paired with Elite HRV app. Approximately $90 up front and $0 per month for the basic tier. Same morning protocol. The Polar H10 produces RMSSD values within 1 to 2 milliseconds accuracy of ECG gold standard. Method 3 is a setup like the Kubios HRV software with a medical-grade ECG chest patch, research-grade accuracy, relevant for those doing rigorous self-tracking or working with a sports physician. Using any of these methods, here are the normative RMSSD values by age. Ages 20 to 30, 47 to 95 milliseconds. Ages 30 to 40, 38 to 80 milliseconds. Ages 40 to 50, 28 to 61 milliseconds. For those over 50, 18 to 45 milliseconds. Now you know the track. It's time to look at the stack. Here is what to do with your number. As always, we will look at 3 tiers of investment for this biomarker. We aren't selling you anything. These are some lifestyle options and their estimated cost brackets. Tier 1. Free. This is the one that surprised me most. Resonance frequency breathing, also called coherence breathing or slow-paced breathing. The protocol: inhale for 5.5 seconds, exhale for 5.5 seconds. That is approximately 5.5 breaths per minute. You do this for 20 minutes per day at any point in your day. Why does it work? At approximately 0.1 hertz, which is 6 cycles per minute, your slow breathing entrains the baroreflex, the feedback loop your body uses to regulate blood pressure. When breathing synchronizes with that reflex, it maximally activates the vagus nerve, the primary driver of parasympathetic tone and RMSSD. The mechanism was established by Lehrer and Gewertz in their 2014 Frontiers in Psychology review, which is the foundational reference for this field. What did the trial show? After 10 biofeedback sessions, resting baroreflex gain rose 30% in healthy adults, persisting between sessions independent of breathing rate. No equipment, no subscription. A free app called Paced Breathing, or the free feature inside HRV for Training, will run the session for you. Honest caveat, this requires consistency. The trials that showed sustained results used daily practice for 6 weeks minimum. If you do it 3 times and stop, you will see nothing. Tier 2. Approximately $50 per month. 2 interventions. First, magnesium supplementation, 400 milligrams per day. 1 randomized controlled trial. 94 sedentary adults, 12 weeks, 400 milligrams of magnesium daily. The supplemented group improved PNN50, a direct measure of parasympathetic HRV activity, by 30.5%. The control group declined by 0.7%, statistically significant at p equals 0.024. 2 caveats you should hold. There was no placebo in this trial, and the effect was significant only in participants under 50. The form used was magnesium citrate. Any high bioavailability form, citrate, glycinate, or L-threonate, is appropriate. The one form to avoid is magnesium oxide, approximately 4% bioavailability. It will not deliver the elemental magnesium dose this evidence requires. Second, aerobic zone 2 exercise training, 150 to 180 minutes per week. The Routledge et al. Meta-analysis of 59 randomized controlled trials showed that aerobic exercise training increased RMSSD and SDNN with moderate to large effect sizes. This is the most evidence-supported HRV intervention that exists. The cost: a pair of running shoes or a bike. Tier 3, approximately $200 per month. And I want to be clear about something first. Tiers 1 and 2, resonance breathing, magnesium, and Zone 2 training, are sufficient for the vast majority of people to meaningfully shift their HRV trend within 8 to 12 weeks. Tier 3 is for motivated, systematic self-trackers who have already optimized Tiers 1 and 2. 2 interventions. First, HRV biofeedback device, specifically the HeartMath Inner Balance Coherence Plus sensor, approximately $199 one time. This is a validated ear clip optical sensor paired with proprietary biofeedback software that provides real-time resonance breathing guidance and HRV coherence scoring. It extends the free resonance breathing protocol with precise feedback. The clinical validation behind HeartMath biofeedback devices is robust. The honest limitation: it is a tool for compliance and precision, not an intervention by itself. The breathing is still the mechanism. Second, creatine monohydrate. 3 to 5 grams per day. The evidence for creatine directly on HRV is limited. What we have is strong mechanistic and RCT evidence for creatine's role in phosphocreatine resynthesis and cellular energy efficiency, which may indirectly support vagal tone by reducing physiological stress during recovery. Cost: approximately $20 to $30 per month for a quality monohydrate. What matters on the label is a CreaPure certification, the pharmaceutical-grade creatine monohydrate standard. Here is the TraqStaq verdict on heart rate variability. Evidence quality: 4 stars out of 5. The mortality association data is strong. The intervention data for breathing and exercise is strong. The supplement data is preliminary. The free tier: resonance breathing, 20 minutes daily, 5.5 seconds in, 5.5 seconds out. Retest in 8 weeks. The $50 tier: magnesium supplementation, 400 milligrams per day. Zone 2 cardio, 150 minutes per week. Retest in 12 weeks. The $200 tier: HeartMath Inner Balance, creatine monohydrate, 3 to 5 grams daily. Retest in 12 weeks. One honest complexity this video did not fully address: HRV is acutely sensitive to alcohol, sleep debt, and illness in ways that can make trend data difficult to interpret without context tagging. If your HRV drops sharply, check those variables before adjusting your protocol. Now, we have just established your autonomic nervous system's efficiency score, but efficiency tells only half the story. The other half is raw cardiovascular output capacity. And in the next episode, we are going into the single variable that a 168,000-person meta-analysis identified as the most powerful all-cause mortality predictor ever studied. More predictive than HRV. More predictive than blood pressure. More predictive than cholesterol. VO2 max. And what the science says about whether it's trainable after 40 will change how you approach the next decade. Subscribe. I will see you there.